in there. You can go get it. Hi. He's gonna go get his coffee too. We just wanted to take a moment to really thank everybody that has offered up like really special words. We've had like waves today, just of grief and sadness, but then also just joy and happiness, and it's just been a little bit of a roller coaster. But I've actually torn apart the entire couch in the living room, and something I've never done before, and like I'm cleaning all of this stuff. So we're just keeping busy a little bit. But you want to say thank you? I'll get in the camera.
I've tried.
Say thank you.
Oh, I did. Thank you, everybody.
So sentimental, but one of the things that's funny, like I said, the universe is a funny thing, because as I was cleaning, just under the cushions, it's all the fun things that you find under there, but I ended up finding 3 coins, and if you follow me, you know that a lot of my personal development and what I turn to a lot is the I Ching, and it's just basically like you use coins or just a number of things to get messages from the universe. So I kind of took that as a sign, since I found 3 coins, to sit down and take some time and just clear my mind and see what the universe had to say. And I even Adam hasn't read this yet, and I was going to read it with him in here, but the I Ching, it's really always surprising how it is exactly what you need to hear, but not only that, but how extremely detailed it is down to your situation. And because each one is different, like all the different readings, I think there's over like 65 readings in here, and each one is different. And so I sat down and asked for guidance just on butters or how to deal with the situation and just get through it. And the one I got today, it's called The Arousing, or Thunder and Shock. And just the brief description at the top, it says, despite the rumblings of shock, we should keep our attitude neutral and disengaged. So what I wanted to do, honestly, is I think this is a really good message for anybody, or any and all of us, anybody that has any shock going on in life. But I wanted to read it with him too, so we just wanted to pop on and share it with you all. I promise I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read little excerpts of it. But it says, shock means thinking about or being subjected to unsettling event. Receiving this hexagram refers to the way we react to those events. Shock may occur when a person gets fired, loses his license, has a car accident, or even wins the lottery. It occurs when we encounter the prospect of long-term changes in our life, such as divorce, a death of someone close, or the sudden perception of growing old. We see that such changes have placed on us a new set of limits, and that deprives us or penalizes us. The sense of being projected by events into drastically different set of circumstances is what this hexagram calls fate. The primary message of this hexagram is shock is good. Receiving it reminds us that if we keep our mind open, disturbing events can be constructive of good. Instead of reacting blindly to shock, we adjust our attitude to accepting it, even greeting the challenge imposed by the new circumstance. In all instances in which our attitude is jolted, even to the slightest degree, we are here counseled to retain our inner balance. One purpose of shock is to force us to acknowledge that we are meant to find a new, more correct way of dealing with circumstances. We are meant to find the answer that harmonizes with the overall good. Finding this answer often requires that we undergo spiritual development. If we disregard this imperative and continue in the old ways of reacting, we are subjected to repeated shock. What do you think that means? Or what does it mean to you?
If we stay in that moment, we'll keep reliving that moment.
And I have today just that last little section. But yeah, it's just crazy to me on how seriously how this is just locked in on everything that we were feeling today. That while there have been those moments of grief and sorrow and loss and like wanting to call out to him or anything like that, or I even told Adam, he's like, I just find myself wanting to call out to Butters, and I said, then do it. I was like, don't let that stop you. Don't let the fear of being sad or being upset hold you back. Like, feel those things and then return to the love based underneath all of that. Let's see. Then the last little thing, it says, shock on the whole is meant to make us recognize our own natural limitations, and until we do, the situation retains a vice-like quality. The cosmic hammer pounds at our consciousness until we wake up to the inner realities. It is as if the obdurate external situation exists to make us develop ourselves. When our awareness is such that we see the hand of the higher power in every situation, and its purpose as constructive, the repetitive shock ends. Allowing ourselves to be led, we find the easy and safe route around every difficulty. The way of the I Ching is the easy way. I, the I, means the easy. The ultimate development of character is expressed as thus. When the thunder spreads terror 100 miles around, we remain so composed that the sacrificial rite is not interrupted. To me, it's just, especially in dealing with shock of our connection's weak. It should pick back up. We'll just wait.
Hi, Sabra.
Yeah, hi, Saber. I see that you jumped on. Why is it saying that we're weak?
We are weak.
Hopefully it'll reconnect. See, we still have bedhead. But, I don't know, just in dealing with a sudden loss, a grief-ridden situation, or any emotion that comes in an overabundance. Like, that's one of the things that Adam and I have always said is live in that moment and really, really feel that moment. Feel what you're going to feel. And it might take a while, but acknowledge it. Don't just... Hi, Nicole. Don't just, ignore it, but also don't just live in that moment. What else?
There were certain things about just that whole process where I wanted to kind of keep for myself, but there was something that I said to a friend of mine, and the way I just keep I just keep reliving that moment, because we didn't realize until the past couple days just how much pain he was in. I mean, we knew that he wasn't comfortable, and we knew that there was something going on, but our vet was very wonderful and very comforting. One thing I said to a friend of mine, I said, I was almost hysterical until that actual second when I realized that he wasn't, hurting anymore. and then that's what it became. It became I it wasn't going to be about me missing him. It was going to be about that pain relief for him. And so my sadness that I've had today has been those moments of like he said, even when like we'd let Betty outside and he'd just want to go in there and lay down, we'd still talk to him and we'd be like, "Hey, butter," just that's what I'd catch myself doing.
Mm.
But then trying to remind myself that you said it's okay to be sad because I fight that urge because I want to be strong for you in case you want to be sad.
I mean, it's okay if we're both sad at the same time too, though.
I know.
Even more specific, when this is where, like I said, the universe is a funny thing, is that's just the general outline of what this talks about, because then the I Ching gets a little bit more specific into giving you more specific readings to read underneath the general topic. And today it actually gave me 3 what they call lines, so 3 different lines to read underneath what on how to deal with shock. And all 3 of them just, again, they just made me chuckle, and how much of how astute it was, and how much of a reminder of what I needed today. And the first one, it says 100,000 times you lose your treasures, and that's what the I Ching says. But the explanation of that says, thinking about losses, mistakes, or unpleasant events disturb our tranquility. Yes. In mulling over negative things, we are tempted to resist fate. We must retreat from these images and the dangers they bring. We will regain what we have lost in due time through relating correctly. We need to redefine the situation not as bad, but as exactly as what is needed for our learning process. What does that make you think of?
Everything is a learning process.
Yeah.
And that's what I focus on.
Mm-hmm.
That T-shirt you showed me earlier, it said fail, but it was the first attempt in learning.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's everything is learning.
Yeah.
And
or like this, it says, don't mull over the negative things intent to resist fate, or just kind of like what you said earlier, just if you have that constant replay of the negative things and where he was at the end, like that's all we're going to remember, or anybody. Like don't just mull over what the negative is, or don't view it as it's something bad that happened.
If you're stuck in that moment, you have to underline the word stuck.
Yeah. The next little line says, shock spurs one into action. It says, the shock of encountering fate, which seems unbearably harsh, causes an emotional trauma. It is as if we are suddenly and irrevocably put into a predicament from which there are no options. This negativism, however, means that we are still under the effects of shock. If we can withdraw from all negative views, we will see that there are workable and correct ways out of the problem. We need to be open-minded to allow the options to become visible. This requires that we keep still within. We steadfastly refuse to listen to the clamoring inferiors or our ego, or to look at the negative images they press on us. To me, a lot of my up moments today have been with our other animals, especially like Betty. Like she's
sensitive.
Yeah, she's sensitive. She knows what's going on. I mean, she was only 4 months old when we got her, so she grew up with him. Um, and so it's just like I could sit here and get lost in the shock and the grief and completely cast her aside. And to me, that's not fair because she's trying to show love.
She's very sweet.
Yeah. So being open to options that help allow you to move forward from whatever shock you're going through, even if it's just the tiniest things. Like somebody commented earlier and said that, like, or even my mom, whenever we lost our childhood dog, like, you'll see tiny little reminders and tiny little signs pop up all the time. And your choice is to see those signs and know that everything's okay. You look very thoughtful.
Oh, I'm actually just thinking about how we're gonna get him back.
Get what?
How we're gonna get him back. And that.
Yeah, one of the very nice services that our vet signed us up for is Butters is going to have a private cremation. But before they do that, they're going to take a cast of his paw print, and we'll get like a nice little box, and yeah, so that's good. And
nice.
then
and we'll show that to you all too.
Yeah. And then the last line or reminder that it gave us today is to withdraw from the effects of shock. We must not allow shocking events to cause us to vilify the sage, fate, God, or the people who have wronged us. Shock brings both an end to the old and a beginning to the new. While these changes are occurring, we must withdraw from the negative effects of shock that make us stop to look at what has happened. It is important to keep moving forward. If we wonder how to relate to bad or good events, the answer is, do not take hold of the problem or get involved in its peculiars. To regain clarity and understand the shock, it is necessary to cease looking at the problem. Yes. He's thinking.
It's one of those things we always say, you know.
And I just saw that quote, Jody. Energy flows where attention goes, and it's true.
We, like if one of us is sad over anything or unhappy about something, one thing we always say to each other is, be in that space, but don't live in that space. You know, we're gonna let ourselves be sad today, and I'm sure we'll always be a little sad, but.
And it's just kind of like what this says is not to vilify like sage, fate, God, or whatever you believe in, because I mean that I identify more as spiritual. I don't know, like I believe in love. That's what I believe in. So to sit here and say that this isn't fair, that he was taken away from us, that it's somebody or somebody else's fault, or if we were to sit here and blame our vet or look back and say and ask why, or that just keeps stirring the pot. It keeps making things and reopening the wound. It doesn't lead to any answers to try and find something to place the blame
and that
on.
even takes away from the 8 really cool years we had with him.
Yeah.
He was 1 when we got him, and you know, so he had a really happy little time, and he made our time happy. So if we sit around and are, angry and or asking a bunch of questions and whatever, that takes away from that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to validate,
Yeah. Or it's just like earlier, it says it's important to keep moving forward, and even it's that surreal feeling. Like I said, we've been kind of deep cleaning the house today, and like it just kind of hit me. There's like this happened less than 24 hours ago, and we're just here cleaning house. Like,
not metaphorically.
like literally cleaning that.
I've started thinking about. I made like a little half-butted joke earlier about, Betty would be the type of dog that would carry around like a baby, and I said now she can have one because we couldn't, because Butters was the dog that had to have something that was indestructible, because that's what he does. He tears toys apart, so we couldn't have something like that for her. So, we're bright siding it.
Yeah, that was his buttedness coming in. Like if we ever bought her a new toy, like a little stuffed animal or something, within 24 hours, he would kind of steal it, and he would pick at the threading and then pull out all the stuffing. So Betty would be left with a limp little...
like a squirrel or something.
Yeah, like just a piece of fabric. So we actually thought about taking her to the store today to pick out a little something of her own, but we just wanted to hop on and share with you guys. Like I said, it's crazy on how when you look for things, the universe does provide. It does give you those reminders. Feeling shock, grief, sadness, anger, any of the emotions that what we're conditioned to see as bad, they're not. Like today was a much needed day, and I'm sure we'll still have periods of time where it's ups and downs, and that's okay, because that's just Butters coming back and forth. So, anything else you want to say? And Jennifer just hopped on. Hi, Jennifer. Anything else, babe?
No. We appreciate you all.
Yeah. Just thank you all so much, because that's been a very uplifting moment today, is every time we've hopped on Facebook or online, it's been nothing but support and love. And
well, one of our posts had reached like 3,200 people.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, if you're just hopping on, feel free to go back and listen to the message that we just shared. I'll show again, this is one of my favorite go-to sources of personal development and growth and universal help. And it was just much needed today, and I think it's just funny how everything comes around. So, anyways, guys, we're gonna go literally finish cleaning the house and just going about our day. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that this message may have helped you all too, and just thank you all again so much.